to dwa say nyame ya adoma appendix FM family visas no, there is going to be an overhaul of immigration rules now. As say the boy who by visa and seminar. Now home secretary mame edi to dwa say enka bosumi ya ewomi this month ena nanka sa nhye no eba be etodwa but afi so no echi no okogina ba bi kan say omatwe e de akwa anim kakra nti hopefully ebia it is speculated according to the okan no somewhere in autumn, which is after July, August, September no, it is expected say new changes are omopese omodeba no ebabe tubia. Now so we share new changes now by no person odeba tubia now. Settlement now currently at 5 years or 10 years, depending on whether umiti all the immigration rules.
Recording in progress.
Appendix FM as a partner now, and as a parent now. Normally say umiti all the immigration requirements, which means if we a valid application, that is umiti validity requirement. A phase no say umiti part suitability. Now phase no umiti eligibility, all of the eligibility requirements, which mostly I will say when meeting the relationship, say a partner application now you must meet the relationship requirements, which means I will say only a partner no who can for na maware no or say maware no mode a normal adansidi say sa aware no papa na empo beyond say papa no aware no is also ongoing, that is it is subsisting. Edutum says say relationship and now are ongoing. It means a bibia oba ni okunu aware for wo aware mu no most I nipa kwe musumo yebi e bit is saying motefa akon anamu kipi one matrimonial home ebia mo normal mo yebom ebia makoto dan abom mo han dan abom mutua bills bom ebi kra ma wo muntem any de keka ho. Now beyond that I was actually say mumiti the financial requirements. Now after 2023 the financial requirement before na per annum a gross of £18,600. Say abano yes sayomu epeja mudu call £29,000. Now what it means in here say sieka obano any ukunu no and I say partners ni say ka mo afini nyina sikamu a moji from adwuma no ye ka bom a e wo say end kra no esakra no e wo say £29,000 pounds. Now after this one e wo say also umiti immigration requirement, which also means to say at the time now all the application tumuno I was say all visa, you must have a valid visa. Ebia we student who is kuni and now person was switching from a school visa now a crown now they back a partner visa so and ebia we a skilled worker open so free a skilled worker visa no so and the back partner visa so and ebia visa a crown or a charity visa and now the bura or mine and now visa be a crowd be now person be was switching from and the back partner no so no. At all material times at the time now what they application in two I was say or a valid visa. Now after that also meet English language requirements now medical idea to let me say also. And also there is also another requirement which is the accommodation requirements. So mostly say obadeni ukununko at least muhia 1 bedroom. Say abofraba come ho muhia 2 rooms. 2 rooms no could be 1 bedroom apartment. That is 1 room it be a living area and a lounge day come. Now umitisa requirements we na say ukunu no ana we oye Brittany ana say oye obi a okra indefinite leave to remain ana oye EU national or assetna ana ebi or pre-settled status any what the visa application to mana your grant visa now normally you do over to 5 years or so. But Home Secretary nobody can grant you 2.5 years. After 2.5 years, no acquire further renewal for another 2.5 years. Now ultra 5 years new year. Now if you want to apply for settlement. Now say umiti requirements nibi. Now we're meeting na instead of 5 years, no, you do better 10 years so. So an example would be say ebia when meet a relationship requirement. When oyere no ana ukunu no maware na papa ana mo relationship na papa. Now when meet financial requirement no because usika a unye free wodwuma mu no ye de ka ukunu de ho a ebro £29,000 no per annum no. Now when meet a accommodation requirement because a only ukunu no pe na mo and multi one room and akraba akoko into multi 2 rooms mo and maybe ankra mi no kan into multi 3 rooms mo. Now nenso so no ebia na obrofo ka no e wo form ebia akoye English language test no went me am pass it because of say went me am pass it e brofo ni no. Instead of say over to 5 years, near what to 10 years or so. Now, Abayani say when it comes to indefinite leave to remain, no, or per se, or you free a year 5 years or so. Nor the indefinite leave, no, baseline, no, equal 10 years. Now, or they call 10 years, no, and we are for a year family visas, any private life applications, any human rights applications. Now, when it comes to a skilled workers, I'm kind to just say skilled worker applications and now more skilled worker visas ni na no. Abino edi omoto 5 years so. Say na abino edi abetu just say opese o page from 5 years no. Edi call a year 15 years. Na say infie edu eni enu. Infie edu no, which is 15 years. Now, when it comes to a year omo ebia abayamo visa because of say omo nipa ko bia or say ye bo omo ho ban because baby omo free ba no e bia nipa no konechi a bibi bet aton which normally we refer to them as asylum seekers before no now after 5 years no say abay grant asylum after 5 years no unya settlement which is settlement now abay no propose and in fact omo de take effect. You see, I buy no up from a year 5 years no to 20 years. Now, no cry, I buy no side of 2 just say Usiki asylum near grantia. You over 2.5 years or so. After 2.5 years, no, also a new application. Now, so a new application I buy no be you more say. A crona free so now oba krum hana ejina so because of nsensem course no ntino ye ma asylum. You better say ukrom hono no. If the conditions in your home country, no, asesa, na say no, baby a wobetimi akotena abo bra. Most likely no, among grante or extension no. Na say you also akọ maybe where there o free buy. Now, beyond this no, abide to just say sa 10 years na or dey beto say obi a wo pe asetena bia no. I also want me to a yes 10-year requirement no. And yes, at the hot trasa, you will be per cobia or mono, also ebet me, enya sitna, even after 3 years. You nipa kobizuswa or met me sitna after 5 years. But say ubenya sitna after 3 years, and answer after 5 years, sir. And you will know maybe I was a utmimiti. And one of them will be say a fat brofuna English language now, according to publication from a House of Commons, which is available, which everyone can go online and read, Or say I was a obrofukano say a assessment it should be at level C1. Level C1. Say brofuni level C1 and then say it is at graduate level, which is university level. Now, say brofono at level C1 10 years no instead of say also 10 years and san onya asetina no according to publication from House of Commons na parliament no you will do 9 years. Say wajuma woye no. Say wo taxable income. You count taxable income. Now say wo gross income no. Before say you tax every wo income no. So woye nipa bi a afini nyina no sika a woje no around 125,140 pounds. There's a scale mode. There's also any panel. You can settle after 3 years. There's a buy no 10 years no or better 7 years every month. Ama what me enya asetna a year after 3 years pay. Now apart from that no a buy no omo publication or House of Commons no so chere say own income no around say bia afini nyina no gross income before say better tax every odwuma ye ni sika ni mu no say wo sika wo no around 50,270 pounds there say wo say ni pa no you can settle after 5 years also no aban no asa so a publish say uyobi umiti English language requirements no at C1 no ebia wo sa nipa no so no o community baby a wote no o charitable work ebia wa join one of these NGOs and now say volunteering groups ebia now say you are contributing towards or neighborhood and our community na utimuna. Then most likely no abane on the visa application to na abane assessment wo say nipa no betimi anya asetna between 3 abane betimi ayi infie miensa up to infie num every wasitnim, which means you could settle after 5 years or 7 years. And also according to publication you know say visa application no na oye mami ana papa na oba a wujina no so ya application so oba no ye British citizen na say utimi miti ana say ukunu na wode na ware no ye British citizen na utimi miti all the other family requirements now, that is umiti financial requirements umiti relationship requirements at the time now your application now or valid visa now say umiti accommodation requirements now, then what's any no you could settle after 5 years. Now when and send someone abandon their tuba, but the crack nyina near say sansem we no na we were expecting same can sign winning no about to ebia after close of consultation. Let me say there was a fear see me so bekaya is see a people from now abani be a consultation be to honor our consultation and day on the 12th of February 2026, and according to Home Secretary Nipa omunya feedback from about 130,000 people ubia share na dream a farm inti now no abani guso asa consultation responses na omunsakan no omuguso a omudi ho abobo inti most likely changes ne de said it bia no ebi ba betodwa na mbom no the earliest as changes no betima ba betodwa no according to asma ye maami Home Secretary no de todwa na anu ye no ebeye after July or so inti na sana eye nsesan no esi etie. Now there is also another update about betodwa no it take effect from a year enra on the 8th of April 2026 Let me say visa fees na your applications and visa fees na aban no atutum Home Office increments akra kaneno na ohwe family visas na so o apply as a parent and as a partner na kaneno na fees autua no visa fees 1,321 pounds. Say fees assessment call 1,407 pounds. In Joshua, there has been an increment of 86 pounds. And that increment it take effect enra Also, indefinite leave to remain, settlement for Sabia, or skilled worker, what are feel maybe, and now or your partner, and now your parents on the family visa, what are 5 years and now 10 years away. Sisi abno kasi open say we indefinite leave to remain application now. Can you know nanka £3,029. Sisi na buying the £197 account. Sisi no oye indefinite leave to remain application now. Ubitria £3,226. Also, si ehwe work visas na and also so no abino atutum kakra. There has been increment in work visas no. Kane no na oye yenua ma ni yenua mema omoye skilled workers are more health and care visas no so no. Nanka oye application na utua £304. Sisi in so your application wo oman mu ha ho asem na making. Sisi aban the £20 account or the cost £324. Apart from that, other say for say issue health and care COS na say for up to 3 years say more than 3 years, say there 4 years and 5 years can you now you have £590. But they say abino up they call £628. Let's say share no so £38 there about the count. There has been other increments or other visas so. Name nationality, citizenship application there has not been any increment. Also, some of the applications no ebi wo ho a we are ultimately obtain for priority and now super priority service. Our service no maybe £500 and maybe £1,000. I don't know the jina I know the exercise bia enye day mm to hwa eno changes are taking effect as of a year enra. Now, I movie straight because of your time no. Ako a year and command me per se topic a per se attraction of a year and edi kind of me touch on a year skilled worker visas whether a year health and care visa and answer a year general skilled worker application or year. Mostly now who say applicant na adwumakuo bi ese me sponsor mema o COS na nipa no ama ni COS no now nipa ni COS ni wi a oye application na ubon say the visa no ayede ama no ye de ma no eni na otwe na ansa ana abosome mienu ana abosome miensa ubon say home office actual nipa no krata say wadwumakuo na oma sponsorship no wo employer no you are revoking the licenses because of say you are revoking the licenses no was say all skilled worker no say all dependents account e bia your application wo yere ana wo kunu ana wo maka ho a home office truck krata say was say ope your application fufuro and I do all cry it me ma we na e bi it me ma we bia 60 months. So within 60 months, I was a open sponsorship for and now we new application, whether on the family visa and I said, and yes, I was a uko crew. Now a client ben I'll be to me a first one, sir, Jumadi we been told. A client be first one here say anytime say employer be and now obisha of was obema COS sir. The kind boost any pan say obet me and ranima ho kwan say nipa no was say or share ne sponsor license no number no with you because jumako bia no ansa na home office be ma okwan ama watimi sponsor any worker no on the skilled worker route no was say wo sa di jumako no employer no you must have been granted a sponsor license by the home office. Now say nipa no ema say sa company no or the sponsor license number ni ma wa you can go on the government website, gov.uk. Oko website where you can check Say nipa no licenses no, ne sponsor licenses no, edi kan no, papa. To so bio no say papa, say adwumako no, omo rating ete sen. Because home office are rating companies ni nyina. Ebi ye A, ebi ye B, ebi susu ye C, ebi okra so a check here. E be kire say nipa no, sa company no omo sponsor licenses. But say no, licenses no home office etwem. And answer licenses no home office are suspended for a period of time. Oko website where there is an official register of licensed sponsors. Sa official register of licensed sponsors no. Se o download sa register na. Ubehu company bia or sponsor licenses no ni rating. Se company no rating no A, it means that company no omo fully compliant because the home office ema adwumako no sponsor license na enso ho a akade wo ho a abribia no sa company no or say omudi. What this means is say there are other compliance procedures and measures in place abribia no sa company no say your report edema home office. Se nipa no anytime as our report no obebu ebiso no home office it me bon koko. Se company no ya bon koko a yet see the rating no so. Into bon says our company no so check it on the license sponsors register no so a bon says our company no ni rating no enye A ebe B se koye B a as it change now says our company no it needs or it requires improvement. It is a company no amount a COS. Now ordinary sponsor license number now. Now ko check it. Now who said the rating here B, which means that it requires improvement. Any and the papa moi sa COS no say a twofold. What that means is a amount legal advice now be here and come because say okoje now your application now do need to so name po your device animal wa say sa company no omantimi ankoso and comply with ebia measures be a home office e dia mom no over a period of time no omantimi ani so a most likely no afi no home office e be suspend your license no so most suspend it will affect you. In fact, I have seen quite a number of applications. My the license was okay, but your application within 2 months, 3 months, ubos and home office at Trocrata are revoking a employer no license. Into where adia mestre say people on the skilled worker route no or more skilled worker visas no and I be a company be a sponsorship no edi kind no membre ho the company no sponsor license number le bohwi na wankasa ya checks se untimi nye checks na koko hu immigration advisor ana immigration lawyer go check him out and sana why application no. Now with that said no me abohwi a movie akọ partner applications family visas emprebebre no say emisena yetwetwem common me to just say one of the requirements as oye application under appendix FM say bia opese o join you ukunu ana oye oye British citizen ana say bia oye EU ni owo settled status ana owo pre-settled status ana ho kafo no ekura indefinite leave to remain. One of the key requirements in say owo say u show say one sa o ho kafo no mo relationship no it is not only genuine but it is also a subsisting relationship. That is, it is an ongoing relationship. Now a kwan be na obefa so a obetimi a show says our relationship no a genuine. Now there are a list of documents obetimi agina so e dey prove say only nipa relationship no, it is genuine. The first one, you must have a valid marriage certificate. Because se only nipa no ma warrior, more marriage certificate, more krata echese ma warrior no. Any bidi adanse say nipa no oyo yire ana oyo ukunu. Now I know so so ukra marriage certificate na. Se behwa se uwo yire ana ukunu ana uwo any relationship mu se o twempena na ma twempena for a certain period of time. Mostly no, you will find say nipa bia oni obi wo relationship no omo ono bia omo yebom ebi ti sen ebia obehwe no na saa nipa mienu no omo te faako ebia omo kan skabo mo akoto dan ana se bi omo kan skabo mo omo akọ han dan ana ebia baako abo abaako amana han dan nti abre bia no nipa no timi ekọ spend time wo ebi otimi ko di 3 days wo ana ebia okodi na be 9 wo ana otimi kodi na otwe wo ansa na wasaye dey akọ baby o free buy we are there everyday relationship it happens. Now how do you prove say oni ni panete faako obetimi agina oni wo kanfo no say moko han dan no mumienu mudi na tenancy agreement ne so a tenancy agreement ne betimi adi adanse say motifaako ana ebia baako na bo abaako ema no han dan no ebia say dan na moto ya mortgage agreement no eso betimi edi adanse ana say dan na moko han ya mo landlord no ebia obi ewo fie ni fie ni ebia 4 bedrooms eno wayi baako ama ana wayi mienu ama say oni ho kafo mo ntenemu a na say saa nipa ne ema o tenancy agreement a in emremu no it is presumed say nipa na wa han dan ana owo fie 4 rooms a wade ba akwa ma no nipa no eye wo landlord se ko ba ne sa obetimi age krata obetimi age letter every say nipa no ho ama ne dia dance ni say nipa no efie ho no ama odan ba akwa say ono ho kafo monye den montinem. Apart from this no, in everyday relationship say oba ni okunu ewo honom ana be ma bi ni oba twempena say bia o matena as empena for ebia 2 years or more. Mostly no eba bills a omutua bills boom ebia ba akutua rent na ba akoso atua ebia electricity ebia gas bill ana ebia broadband ana ebia ba akona eba groceries a ba akona ototo ni nyina fofie aduane ho ka nyina onefa ube won se ebia baako ana nipa ni mienu no oba ni okunu no omo mienu nyina na tua council tax ebom. Sometimes it could be say ebia baako pedin na wo council tax ne so but ube won se abribia no baako na ni din any council tax ne so no ebia se council tax no bosumi bia £100 na omutua ube won se baako no ebia o send £30 ana £40 every on account mu ekoma ni kunu no ana na ire no maybe our year reference no account mu say for payment of council tax. Nje ko do time a o year application a se eje bank statement a ubehu bank statement mu say ebia bosomi bia no oba no ana bema no esende ebia simpoa ana teku ekoma ni kunu no ana na ire no say fa bi soso na fatua council tax. That is how you can prove say oni ho kafo no moye enoma bom. It could be the same thing for water, gas, or electricity. It could also be the same thing for ABR TV licenses. And now ABR more register for ABR paid TV services. ABR to say ABR Sky News, Sky Sports, and now ABR all other ABR. It could even be Netflix. Netflix, yeah, you dish sininka crack. It could be say if you wanna motino, or account, one out here Netflix no. Bosumi bia na munyina moye dey mohwe. Apart from this no also a normal bit me edi adanse e chese motifa akono eye de friend no cohabitation no ebi e se ebia mumienu nyina no mo letters a munye free aban ho ana enyumaku ho te se ebia HMRC ebia Department of Works and Pensions ana ebia mo GP ana ebia from DVLE ni nyina no efa the same address Now, adeɛ so a wobɛtumi agyina so show sɛ wo ne wo yere no anaa wo ne wo kunu no moyɛ ɛnoma bom no ebi a mostly ɛyɛ very strong adansedie anaa strong evidence no could be ebi a wo ne wo ho kafoɔ no mo be joint account ayɛ den abom ebi koraa mo take insurance policy abom ebi so a baabi a mote no wohwɛ man mu hanom a baabi a wote no ɛhɔ na mostly woto aba nti sɛ wo ne wo yere no anaa wo ne wo kunu no some address ɛda baabi faako de a ɛnyɛ ɛwɔ sɛ woto anamɔ na woma wo din ɛkɔ ɛyɛ electoral register no so wokɔ government website na wobɛtumi a register to be able to vote within that ɛyɛ community no all this who putting it together and it shows that edi kan no one ho kafoɔ no more relationship no papa that is it is genuine and also it is subsisting that is a relationship it does not only exist on paper but idea a cost to 10 years. Again it will also show say mumie no motifako a friend cohabitation. Also it will show say enye se motifako keke moye bibia bom 10 bia na ya na nipa bebre no na ya na ye nyina ya dwen say oh me ware wi a me no oba no aye krata wi say ya ware no me ne no twitwa photos ni ade ade a na be kire say me ne tibom of course photos ni ade ade ano so boa but in terms of ade a obetimi agina so pa approve say one oyere ana ono kunu mo relationship ni ya papa no home office ebe gia tumu no enye photos ena ya na home office epe omope enoma na yedi kan abobo so no obetimi the photos aka ho but eno will not necessarily prove say relationship no genuine and answer ongoing. Also to prove other things I obetimi agina so actually say relationship no genuine and ongoing no say ebia say enkora wo muntema say ono ho kafo no ma wo ba best certificate no ye pejara ebe hu say ho kafo no din wo so din wo so say na oye eja no ana wo na oye maame no. Also obetimi I rely on your contract of employment ana ebia ono ho kafo no wo nyina no oda so e wo school mu obetimi I rely on letters or documents from your school to show say indeed ono ho kafo no motifako ebi kra na school na woko no fees a utua no ukunu no ana wo yire no ene boa ma utua ebi a waye payment ni bi free na account mu ana bibia no so ma utimi ye dey etua school no nti saa no ma we na yebetimi agina so show say your relationship ni papa because what the application it to now went me improve saa no mo ya home office enje one oyire no ana ukunu no relationship no entum nti ayade a ewo se ye be hyene so tie me say because of yemre nti no ye de besi ha na ya peke few calls na as we go along no na ye discussion say de be a emre no ntia
yo but ye better as be brave ene enwumre ewo update or they are bringing any all the things that we need to know when it comes to UK immigration currently. Yo, Sabri, met done me home na mafa two quick adverts. Right after the adverts, no remember how quite now our question be also what they about. And this our question said Richard Aman in Sasso Zoom no so no, or more the amount Sasso Zoom no so na foul question no ebra mefa na lawyer Elvis so Eddie and who in Chichimunina Eddie Abro. And inti Mr. Menko baby, I train me, mean down me when I'm in Frankrato back me to be Embra and Unechino. I'll pick all your questions. Thank you. What do you say?
So, Christica Manian, put me to rap to say. From me, say, Yama, within a minute in Sabacandria, and then one Taptap Send.
Yeah, Ebushafo, we didn't did an Akuma Pachua one. They recommended Taptap Send that mama. And that's our father, also for baby. Now, Yabasa, our rating so yeah. Oh, yeah, A1. Nti obian load do Taptap Send. That all says sika for Taptap.
Yɛbɔ ho de wɔkyerɛ amansan yɛbɔ ho de wɔkyerɛ Ghana fɔsɛ yɛwɔ akwantu ne yɛde sika kɔfie nie meyɛ mfɛmfa baabi a yɛbɛnu yɛn ho Taptap ɛdɛmu fiwa Taptap Send in this street.
Taptap deɛ no ana ɛkɔ.
Taptap deɛ ɛnoa na yɛn nyinaa ɛyi.
Piao.
Property Investor Africa connects investors, buyers, sellers, and partners across Africa to creating trusted opportunities in property investment.
Welcome to Property Investor Africa, your gateway to Africa's real estate revolution. Whether you're a developer or seller of prime real estate in Africa, whether you're an investor or buyer hunting for opportunities, or you're a supplier of real estate products or provider of services in the real estate industry in Africa, this is your marketplace.
Yo, yedamase se munya ebre na mwatwen ema yakodane ho aba. Sabre wo bre. All your questions that you've got for lawyer Elvis do Amiya from Wiseman Solicitors. Lawyer ready. Over all your questions. Anything yemfa Richard Indica. Rich, please go ahead and ask your question.
Okay, thank you very much, Nana, for this opportunity. Lawyer, thank you very much too for being making yourself available for such an insightful topic today. But my question is in two folds. One, you not all no lawyer and patrol can be in regards to family life, can say the baseline 10 years, and I want you to clarify. Say baseline for family life, 10 years. Ebia ujina mobaso anase aware so, and new proposal. Is it 10 years or 5 years? Now me per clarification. And secondly, my second question has to do with will be a dependent to a skilled worker visa, but wajaya worry and worry another skilled worker, but or ne former wife na no dependent to or any dependent for 3 years. And technically, if running the sign kaka 2 years, into me person me find out say they all worry now no skilled worker no say possible. Is he going to continue while a dependent for the past 3 years into continue 2 years and I say a best set it to default or best starting all together cry? Made me question, made I say.
All right. Okay, so on the first one a year baseline according to a year abino, a person or set it when it comes to application for indefinite leave to remain now, a person or set it at minimum of 10 years. That will be the baseline. That will be the starting point. Into what that means in here, say, your application, not say a year case workers, when they start assessment on your application, they will start with the assumption that if it is for settlement, they will grant it after you have completed 10 years on whatever the family route that you are on. Now, if it is a skilled worker application and an open settlement, the baseline, according to what the Home Office is proposing, and I say a year proposals now, it will be at 15 years. However, when it comes to a year family visas now, they are considering say, okay, it is 10 years, all right. However, where we have a scenario, now say applicant, ebia ne taxable income, which a juma applicant na ebia afin on the gross income is 125,000 or more, 125,140 pounds or more, it means that particular applicant, he or she is paying huge taxes. It means the person is contributing to the economy. Into share this whole settlement, Abayano it will just say end settlement. What it means is you must be contributing to the UK economy through some means. Nti say bia say we proposals now. Say nipa no the taxable income no eso say it about 125,000 or more now. Instead of 10 years nipa no can settle after 3 years. Which means that ebia nipa na granting the first visa, you need to 10 years so. Now after first year ena nipa no or onye adwuma ana ketua ne course, which is he's now earning about 125,000 or more. What that person can do is nipa no betimi aye application to vary or to switch from the earlier 10 years so that say already these arguments in the application say the taxable income is now over 125,140 pounds. They will now grant a new visa, putting that person on a 3-year route to settlement. Senipano edge around 50,270 pounds or more, according to what has been published on the House of Commons, that is the Parliament website now. Instead of 10 years baseline, on me at so aba a year 5 years. Is that clear?
Lawyer Pacho a claim kakram. Na me misro already. In regards to na minim say family routes in there. Say bia o worry a British national and also ujina a British child there. Na minim say no there was no change in a 5 years. Aside those two, and no pen and name said no, there was no consultation in regards to say worry a British national and I say ujina a British child. So like financial threshold, English language test, your money you're okay, dear. Then that one it will be maintained at 5 years.
Yes, let me say, yeah, Kasana, I don't know the time that will join any program. Then I need once in a year. I say, if say a partner say be a family visa, or apply as a partner, and I say we a parent of a child, and we a partner to someone who is a British citizen. Now say umiti all the other family requirements, i.e. the relationship requirement, the financial requirement, the immigration status requirement, the English language requirement, and also the accommodation requirement. Then, according to proposals which has been published, instead of 10 years, there will be a deduction of 5 years, which means that when at the time now by your first application, because the it happens at the time you do your first application for a year visa. This all your application now ukunu a British citizen. Umiti the relationship requirement. When meet financial requirement, when meet English language requirement, when meet accommodation requirement now, then you'll be granted visa on the 5 years to settlement. Because what is happening is that for British citizens, especially for EU nationals, especially so partner EU national, you will be put on the 5-year route. Or more than any a UK government, any EU agreement which is binding on the UK government. It is a partner, a EU national. At all material times, you will be put on the 5-year route to settlement. Because it's part of the exit agreement made between the UK government and EU. Is that clear?
Okay. Now,
the second question. Second question. Okay. Say Nipani a dependent of a skilled worker. Now so another skilled worker. Because that person is still on the work route, it means that person can settle after 5 years. He will not start the route again. Let me take it again. The question was, say, dependent on our skilled worker. maybe or then I worry for 3 years. After 3 years, no, wajaya worry, wasako worry another skilled worker, which means the person is still a dependent of a new skilled worker, but on the same work route. It means that after 5 years, no, nipa mbe application based on the existing laws, no, nipa mbe application for settlement, and the basis for settlement, no, eligibility no will be that he has been a dependent on the work route for 5 years continuously, and the person qualifies for indefinite leave to remain based on the current law. But say minimum is because I bind the two say they want to change it to 15 years instead of 5 years. Is that clear?
Thank you very much.
However, nipa ni a dependent of a skilled worker. Wawari nipa ni 3 years. Now no, wajaya ware, wakwako ware a British citizen, and wakwako ware a EU national, and wakwako ware someone who is not on the work route. It means that now nipa ni every ne visa route now no that's no. Because oko are British, it means that we're free or work route no so call family visa so oko no there depending on whether you meet all the eligibility requirements or some of them no, you'll be put on 5 years or 10-year route so, and it means that 3 years now we try a year skilled worker route no so no no na shego and come with you.
Okay, for time Ms. Remo, Mama, you're moving on so that I will be able to pick other people. Ms. Remo, so I will allow one question at a time due to time so that other people will be able to ask questions as well. Florence, go ahead and answer your question.
Lawyer, good evening, Nana. Good evening. But my question is similar to the Nipani Busayan. As say a spouse obano equita indefinite and now obani sukuta obani kuta British book and now obani sukuta ILR in regards to say bemano equita 2.5 year route no still there was a 10 years be affected bemanana.
Okay, but single question is to be.
Abofra no in British book.
Okay.
And Oba no war indefinite leave remain. Okay. Bema ni kuta 2.5 years. Until kodru say also kojine indefinite na. Sa insesaye na abano ebe affecting na.
Okay. Now according to and some kaya abandi out to Jano, and the sign of Mode Bano, mostly there is still an ongoing debate whether Semraneba it should take effect and affect people who has already been granted ebia to say the okay ebia yemfa say papa no yednato yemfa so meet all the requirements into yednato partner route so on the 5 years. Now since sign ba saying it is not conclusive. It is still ongoing. Whether say 10 years baseline no, it should affect people who have been granted visas on the 5-year route no, and now say Abayano should create a transitional arrangement to say okay, already no, you grant you visa, I do 5 years no there. After 5 years no, you be indefinite leave to remain. Now new changes now no, ebe affect or more afi na umba apply for omo first visa as a partner. So it is still ongoing. It is not clear for now. So I cannot give you a definite answer until say new changes no. But what I can say is that it may depend on so share the which earlier caller now. Say Bema no 2.5 near the amano no. See the man on the basis of Nebano, who is a British citizen in the then most likely no he will continue on a 5-year route if he meets all the other requirements. Because on the 5-year route no, you must meet all the requirements. you must meet the relationship. In the environment, say, Papa no, your man visa based on the Bano British now. It means say also meeting the relationship requirement between a father and a child who is born in the UK who has British citizenship. Also meeting financial maintenance requirements because Papa ne Papa no should be able to prove say he can adequately maintain himself and also maintain the child. Again, also Papa no meet English language requirements. Also meet accommodation requirements. And now also at the time now ordering the first visa also Papa no ordering the first visa as a parent also not a valid visa and sana or apply. That being the case, then he will continue on the 5-year route based on the publication from the House of Commons.
Thank you.
Okay. Lawyer, yenye addition bi wa haka krebi na fe yen twaso. So based on the fact that Papa no valid visa or meet all requirements obewo a year 5-year route eso. What of if not Papa no any valid visa? What routes and obewo also?
Okay. On say anytime we are so application the Home Office looks at 3 basic requirements. They can almost share your friend of validity requirement. And at the touch your friend is suitability requirements and eligibility requirements. Now, validity requirements, simply means I was say why valid application. What it means is that I was say fill the right application form because application forms, visa be an endorsement. Even skilled worker or work visas, you are who do be. Now, I was say what you have the right visa application fees. Also, a new coin say we're breaching immigration rules because when you have application, these are the basic checks they conduct. Or file application, form now. They can say, okay, applicant now fill the right application form now, or you have the right visa application fees now. You're checking say or any criminal background now, we're breaching immigration rules now. Say, oh, you have fill the right form. What you have the right visa fees, but what British immigration rules pay is an automatic refusal. They will refuse the application. They will not even go on to assess the merits of your application. But so passing validity requirements now, then they move it to the next stage, which is the suitability requirement. At the suitability requirement, and it's now part suitability. Over here, in more detailed assessment, I will say, British immigration rule that you are not an overstayer. Only any criminal, background, and now only any criminal record. Only any driving offenses are resulting in a conviction of 12 months or more. Or much like we are say, well, meeting some of them are at that point they will refuse the application. But so passes suitability requirements now. They now move the application to the last or the final stage, which is the eligibility requirement. Eligibility requirements, a whole number share the boss relationship, say a parent application now, or mobile share the existence of a genuine and subsisting relationship between papa and mameno and the obana ujana so application. How do they check it? Or maybe say on the birth certificate, papa and mameno, one would also say oba any abofrano. Sometimes they can even some more doubt. I want me push say for other evidence. Bright say obani akrano. In general, no can say DNA test, but they will because DNA test is not mandatory in the UK. But they will push you to go and do it to show say indeed abofrani oba. That is how they establish relationship between one abofrani. Say your application on the basis say you're a parent of a child who has indefinite leave to remain or a child who is a British citizen. Now, also, they will check, say, relationship, is it ongoing? Do you have responsibility for abofrano? And they don't check and say, okay, abofrano, umaniska, abofra no ebia wona ade ko school wona akofa no free school ebia wona wo attending the parent evening meetings ana ebia abofra wona ade ko GP ana ebia abofra no ni mi no address ni ada afa ko o me check we nyina. When you've passed all of these, then not what meets your relationship requirements, then they will check say at the time now, now question now and at the time now your application, did you have a valid visa now? Says that time now only crate be we overstay and nyamin chadum wabe wo mind her and our bano or indefinite leave to remain and now or a British citizen because of say at the time of birth now about Franny Mame or indefinite leave to remain and another Franny Mame a British citizen and another Franny Mame a EU national or what settled or pre-settled status are. What will happen is that because of say only abofrano, we abofrano papa and now Mame intino. Now there is a genuine and subsisting relationship between only abofrano intino. They will grant the visa, but almost for until 5 years, so as a parent, over to 10 years or so. So at all material times, for you to be put on the 5-year route, whether as a parent or as a partner, you must meet all the immigration rules or the immigration requirements. If you meet some and you don't meet all, you will be put on the 10-year route instead of the 5-year route.
Okay. Mami, a few questions also in the chat room. Please, I have indefinite leave to remain, but my card expired in July this year. I plan to travel to Ghana around July. What should I do, or what should be the next steps that I should take?
Okay, let me say currently, on say you're moving from physical documents, improving your immigration status. We've moved from physical documents to digital proof of your immigration status. So what the person needs to do is unlog into the e-visa account. Now on generating share code to prove the immigration status. Into the card now, it depends on the e-visa identity document or the IA. Say resident card no the IA. Though card no I expire, but obetime use card number to log into the e-visa or log into the e-visa now. On update no calling UK via account, no on update the card now or the login into account from the resident card to the passport. On the passport, on update it with the passport or update we are on generating share code to prove the immigration status. Into a generating share code now normally is valid for a period of 90 days, that is 3 months. Or generating share code now, the share code with the passport and or the betu kwan ako asade aba.
Okay. Ma
say why not being say or say or take additional nationality. That is minimum nationality as we speak. By emphasis says we Ghana passport no indefinite or person so obetimi take up citizenship in the UK. So you're granting a citizenship now, then he or she can apply for British passport. Then he or she can apply for a Ghana visa and go to Ghana and come back. And now or the Ghana and British passport ni mi be to kwan akwaba.
Okay. And open so I'll be or contact a lawyer for more clarification and more assistance in any further application be open so. All right. Yeah, fast Stephen Boache Ewaha. Steve, but you go ahead and ask your question. Hello, Steve.
Okay. Opinion. So, Mr. Friend, Stephen Boache. My question no, and say. Me so me who can you any hanomo na or Ghana you know submission me person me kofa ne ba said na lawyer actually be say what any pan on any tibomu any other in person also no me who there was a me.
Okay. Okay. For so for honka every amanonia ba mostly no also we show say honka for no only next year in person. In person no because of technology intino. Once they say WhatsApp ne video calls near the idea about intino. In person no does not necessarily mean say say nipa ni na usuni. Enka at least no I say be a wo tu kwan akọ Ghana ehia nipa no pen one na twetwe nkomo ana be nipa no aba visit o krom ha no oba ho ana oba na uhia no e no sa akọ na ti na afi de opeso o metena aha no but say we nyina bi ni ho no a you should be able to provide adansidi a chere say nipa no de bia one ne twetwe nkomo e bia nipa no uhia no internet so ana e bia na mobisu na uhia no and unya nipa ne number no one na bonkomo be 6 months ni 1 year ni nti say ye download uni nipa no mo WhatsApp chat history enkomo na mo di no be kire say ampa uni nipa no mo relationship mo a mo di nkomo akodru point bi afi no mo sesa aware impo no ebi aware no because of no maybe esi ukwan nti no wan kasa went me anko Ghana ankɔhwa mo anya aware no na emom uma obi si wa na mu e wo Ghana ena omohwe ye aware no kama etwa pictures bibia mo wie no na opesa wo ho kafo ne yeden ebe ka wo ho oman mu ha nti wetumi agina sa dance die no so ba ko ye sa WhatsApp chat and text messages are only oyere no my exchange over a period of time. Another thing could be say enye WhatsApp messages ne nko a ebia from time to time no ebia o mane oba no ebia o ship no ma through omo ye door to door o ship a o di na ship ono so edin na on receive no ma no Ghana o receipt no we say o ship no ma koma no e to so bi o so ebia o receipt tap any transfers o receipt ni bi o hono ma say o mane oba no any ade ntu kan we nyina bom na e be say nipa no you have met or partner no in person. Nti in person no does not necessarily mean say I was a nipa no etifakum. You can prove it where you have not actually lived with a person in one house. But also these other pieces of evidence no adansidi no ho eche say oni no enkita odi e wo montem.
Yo.
All right. Okay. Matthias here, me that's lawyer.
That's the enough.
But that's it. Yeah, so na yafa question something pacho kosunafa o question bra.
And I'm pacho good evening only lawyer. And a quick one pacho my question is say be a lawyer kasa no say tenancy agreement be. Ebi anana wa hide dan na mabeji bi to ye Ghana ni. Wo na odi odi tenancy agreement no. Na say bia mabetena ofie. Eno no sa no me pese me ya application bi ko home office wa. Ebe to me yes na because enipa no medini tenancy agreement so. Ana bia internet kra so no o ma me ntua. Me tua sika no emfa bank so me sa tua ema no direct. Ebasa de me to me the IABB or ehwana.
Okay, that's say you can say obi ena atofie ana wa high dan ena wayi 1 room ana 2 rooms bi omo dia ma ana one wotia obviously no wo di enko tenancy agreement no so but what you can do say obema sa nipa no atro krata ma obetro letter ma confirming say ono na tifie hono na empo no even though we didn't need tenancy agreement no so but bosumi bia no obwa ema in the payment of the rent no and I say mortgage na otua no and I say in the other bills no in the example ebia we dan ba kwa ma bosumi bia no ma otua ebia £500 ebi okra o ma ogene cash o ma own transfer. In that situation, no, manipa ne ma letter and confirm say or no native or no. Now you contribute towards payment of the house bills, even though all the bills are in his or her name. there must be a letter. Nipa no tro krata na or no photo identity card Akaho, whether passport or driver's license or any photo identification. Afezo so no ade ba ko betimi de account ho ne say obetimi say woni wo ho kafo no ene ti saa efie na ye ka ho asemi a obetimi apɛ wonamfofo ana so kwa asore a any church member and say other people to write letters confirming say omunim woni wo ho kafo no omunim say woni asomasi ene ti fie and ebi amatena fie ho no for ebi 1 year 2 years 3 years and now for this number of years. That will also be helpful.
Okay, patron, that's it.
Also, all applicant nangas as well. Ubet me the affidavit account application no. But mostly no yana affidavit no. Yana ne wait a year crown yana iswa. Because who ni panana or what to no. Diana home office and said that will also help. So when you affidavit no, whereby you will affidavit no say wouldn't nipa nete when not be 1 year na 2 years ni now we didn't need tenancy agreement in so but abribia no nipa no ema utua 500 towards the settlement of the house bills. You can even maybe a cash now imano, but you can make references in your bank statement which will show consistently say bosumi bia no yehu se okokoyi £500 e will be a cash machine then udema sa nipa no and it can help na so onya dance for ba ko mienu mo tro letter so kan ho na nipa no so de krata ato so say ampa ono nete wa ma odan ba ko ni fia otima then it really shows that otifie ho no and you can rely on it to show say ho na what say and now ho ka for na dey eti
yo patron das
yo like any mami busta we say in some stationery shops no almost a ton rent book. Do you think that rent book can also be supportive in this situation where maybe Obiako High Die also warranty by Kwama na utia ebia cash edemano? Can rent book be a very good supporting document?
It can help. It can help. Can you know na it mean I rely on these things need to prove it. But I won't say and as I say, you know, maybe because you say, you know, when it comes to landlords, they say, you know, home office, I'm compliance and also almost do so. They say it's all high there, or why abbreviano landlord, you know. So, we say, baby, landlord, you know, Efrel and our troll crata say. So generate share code that say you have the right to rent. Because they say it's all a landlord. Now the dine con high obi no need crata chase to me high there a buying final. Said the Jumako you find up to £60,000 or more no. The same thing, landlords no they say no quite a kakra. But can you know now people were able to rely on these things no to prove it. But it all depends. Because they say in the home office any call. So right to work, right to rent, you know, because of say a movie, a normal call, digital, no. They say in the home office the within with date of birth, a share or pay. Or the right to work, the right to rent, and landlords and landladies are expected to check it. So one comply now the dime will be only in crata or landlord will be any problem.
All right, cool. Talking about COS. Hayford Abusa, please, lawyer. As a matter of fact, would the employer be ready to share his or her registered number for verification under CQC?
By law, the employer is not supposed to say or didn't sponsor license number BCU. By law. But on say no. Nekano because normally no employer no enye say or say change or sponsor. So you should be able to find a way to get the sponsor license number. But all that I'm saying is that say employer no ejitum so be sponsor. Na say or issue COS number one, mem pre ho emfa COS no nkoye application. The kind check if say the sponsor license no, what is the rating? So we check it on the register, no the rating here, then you can comfortably go ahead. Say a beer. What I'm saying is that hasten slowly. Mem pre ho bebrebe. You need to go back and find out from the employer why the rating is not A but it is a B. Because I've seen instances. Obi ba me hwa me application man no. Na employer no issue COS. But yeah application no, in the middle of application no, you input to COS number no. Na not knowing say at the time na employer ni issue COS no, the COS was valid. However, before the applicant never application no, now Home Office I revoke employer no sponsor license. Inti you need to really check it. So what do you mean check here? Message say obepe solicitor and now say immigration advisor. Na waboa no check here say employer no sponsor license number no rating no kama idea be boa because idea be and say and I've seen it happen. I witnessed a family of 6. Omoya application. The visa was granted. Within 2 months, the Home Office wrote back to them, say Oma revoke the sponsor no license. And this is a family. They were really in a mess at the time of getting the sponsorship. No, Omunya no. Less than 3 months, they are back to the same situation no more. So I will advise that on this COS sponsorship, you really do your checks very well before you accept any sponsorship from an employer.
Okay. Talking about the genuineness of a relationship will be Ebusa. What about if you live apart in different countries? How do you prove the relationship? How do you prove that the relationship is genuine? I think you've touched on it, but you hold on to this question. I am a graduate. I am on graduate visa, which will expire soon, and my girlfriend is on a skilled worker visa who entered the country in 2023. Can I switch to be her dependent as an unmarried partner? As an unmarried partner. We have been in a relationship since 2023, though we live in different cities, but we have valid relationship been visiting each other. Valid relationship. But you can 2 questions mommy.
Okay. Did kind of let me say I touched on it earlier. I said partners, they live in 2 different countries. How do you prove the relationship is genuine and subsisting? Let me say, to just say in normal incidents of everyday relationship, it is expected, say partners, and normal boom. They share responsibilities. Maybe our partner to UK and our Ghana. It could be say our partner no Ghana no. Maybe our boy kakra. Maybe some kind of maybe our high dine or Ghana. Maybe crown rent on our boy and man maybe our transfer is free ano. Your command is on fine high dine. Nti your share bank account there will be that evidence nature say o transfer is every UK ha e koma our partner no Ghana so onye den on van high you kwhwe oni no mo WhatsApp conversation and say bia you kwhwe oni no me no mo text messages are more exchange and I be cry you communicate through emails you kwhwe all these it will show say modin komo se so ba ni okunu mo bobo am ho. Until you can still prove it, say relationship near genuine. Every cry, I've seen instances whereby partners, Bako or Maimuha, Bako or Ghana, but Omutimi Shemu or Europe, baby. Ebi Omubuki holidays. Now, Ebi Abema no, or Ghana no. or two coin abishia obano or ebia France and ebia Spain ebia for the weekend and ebia for 1 week omu na omu call back ebia omu buki ticket no ebia bema na no oba ni tua ticket nika ana bema no tua the ticket oba no tua the ticket but there is evidence say omu mienu two coin ku baby omu ko share no they slept in the same hotel omu buki hotel omu drew chrome no ebia omu fa taxi omu fa bus omu fa train all these train tickets coach tickets hotel bookings any common between themselves it doesn't matter the distance separating them they can still rely on this to show say relationship genuine ebi kra oba no na bema no akosra oba na bema no o Ghana pen it could be say bia omusia ebia 2023 oba no da so Ghana but 2023 no bema no etu kwan ko Ghana or call Ghana no ebi okọ party asia na okọ yi ana okọ program bi eno ko sia oba no twetwe nkomo omeye na for ena oma keep relationship no attending into stage na kokuduru no mabe oba ni okuno so you can show o tu kwan ko Ghana no o travel stamp na e passport no announce say okra British passport ena o tu kwan ko Ghana o visa na o je call Ghana no and o flight ticket no will show say indeed on a so date no utu kwan ampa e call Ghana na o call hono no na o share o ho after that no you've kept the relationship through everyday conversation and other things so you can still prove it. Now to second question no there also a graduate or graduate visa and a partner no a skilled worker and they've been together since 2023 as unmarried partners and obetinya switch to join the partner no on the work route and the answer is yes but I also show or prove say indeed they have been in a relationship since 2023 because I share immigration rules now to prove that you have a relationship with your partner no you can prove by way of a marriage certificate so when you marriage certificate na say still no or partner ni nipa na ampa you will be a friend no at least 2 years as unmarried partners also matna my relationship move for at least 2 years in this our relationship move for at least 2 years said you no can say our relationship move since 2023 no he should be able to provide evidence that says they are in a relationship via WhatsApp or text message or email conversations, other things they've done together. Maybe or more booking holidays together, paying or more to Kwanakoda hotel paying or more maybe a 10 biano or free baby or no teno ekosra or bano maybe or qua or far train and into train tickets no. I'll book on the email mo and maybe offer coach neko and maybe you book taxi. You can show these things to show say example maybe I what's London or Honka for no or partner no or Manchester until you'll be able to show say I'll book train if free London to Manchester and at the end of the day no it will show say indeed you are in a relationship with her because Emremu no say only will be a trimp now. And I will be a relationship more for at least 2 years. The law presumes the two of you to be husband and wife because 2 years as unmarried partners, and now 2 years of cohabitation, it is as good as married couples. So you may find some worry, but you must be able to prove, say the relationship, is genuine and it is ongoing. Say the
okay. Like our time. Wait. So I have 3 people that I will pick: Ernest, Na, and Bimpong. Then I will pick one also from here, and I think this person is not a Ghanaian, so he or she is requesting that please answer him or her in English. So I'm picking it from the chat room. It's all about COS. What's your advice? Her visa expires in 2 months. and her employer will not renew it for her after expiration. Currently, she hasn't got another employer that will sponsor her. What legal steps are available for her so she will be legal to stay in the country?
Nana, when Nipano requested,
I request to say answer it in English for her.
Okay. The first thing I will say will be the person should see an immigration advisor or a solicitor who handles immigration matters. So the person can call our office line if she wants to come and see us. And then when she comes to the office, we can discuss it in detail. However, what I will say for the benefit of this program is that now, if she's 100% sure the employer is not going to sponsor her on or before her visa will expire, she should consider changing employers, because she can be sponsored by a new employer. And because she's already a skilled worker, she doesn't need to at least do or complete 3-month employment with a new employer before she's able to change employers. She can instantly change employers, but before her current visa will expire. So that is the first option. The second one is she can switch to a student visa. That is, if she has made applications to any of the universities in the UK and she has been offered admission, which she has accepted, she can explore that option. Thirdly, she can switch to the family visa. I don't know whether she has a child or not. And granted, she has a child in the UK. That child should either be a British citizen or has indefinite leave to remain. If the child is of any category, then she can switch from the work visa to a parent visa. That is, as a parent of a child who is either settled or has British citizenship. But in her question, she didn't express or state whether she has a child in the UK or not. Alternatively, she can switch to the family visa as a partner of either a British citizen or someone who has indefinite leave to remain, or an EU national who has settled or pre-settled status. She can also switch to being a dependent of a skilled worker. She can, if she has a partner who is on the work route, she can switch to from she herself being a skilled worker to a dependent of another skilled worker. So she may explore all of these options. But for a detailed discussion, I will advise her to pick up our office line, which I believe Nana will announce it before the end of the program, and also the office location, and she can come and see us and we can have a more, beneficial discussion. Or she can seek legal advice from any qualified immigration advisor or solicitor who practices in immigration matters. So that is what I will say for now. But let me caution her. I've heard quite often people saying that when you have limited period for your visa to expire, there is something called extension. I don't know, Sanana, people.
Yeah, I've heard it.
So there is extension. Can you do an extension? There is nothing like extension. The extension that they are talking about is an application with merit. And an application with merit is either you are continuing on the visa route that you are on. That is, if you are a skilled worker and your visa is expiring, if your employer decides to give you further sponsorship, then the new application that you will do is the extension of your leave. That is extension of your visa. Or if you have decided to switch from your current visa to another visa, example, you are on the work route and you want to switch from being a skilled worker to being a partner of a person who is settled in the UK or a British citizen. That switching, if you are switching from the work route to the family visa, indirectly it acts or it becomes an extension of your permission to be in the UK, because you are being granted further visa or further permission to be in the UK. Any extension which will not grant you a valid visa is not an extension. What people call extension, from my understanding and from what I have seen, are applications that people do out of convenience, which sort of gives them time based on the period the decision will take to come from the Home Office. But mostly those applications are without merit. And I will not advise people to, have sort of hope in those applications. There is nothing like an extension beyond a valid application made to the Home Office, which has chances of succeeding. So that is the caution I will give to our sister.
Okay, cool. Lawyer, I'll put these three together for you to answer for me due to time factor, so that we can close this section as soon as possible. So I will start with Na. Now, please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello. Good evening,
Hi.
lawyer.
Good evening.
But say me visa concerning landlord way no rent no. Na me a student and me visa say na who can be about validity visa validity or something. And me say me visa say bia na me work on no. Nipa no me ne share like one room apartment and na baby, but Bibia and show to say bia me chia and na bibia me application na to me against me and na baby. And I met me use me address as bia me landlord way no bia me fill application form no met me use ni den no and any address as landlord and me that's
Okay, of course. Also, a normal na ultimate to show cohabitation or to prove your address, and yet tenancy agreement and kwana ultimate to show say hana. There are other documents. Some could be NHS letters I or receiving. These days, I in particular, I don't receive hard copy letters at my home address. I've opted for digital copies. Into my correspondence, say DVL or GP or HMRC, they send it by email. And now, if you you create an account. Example, I have an online NHS account. Into my GP letters, my NHS correspondence, it goes to the NHS account. So when I log in, I'm able to download all these correspondence. These letters, nobody may to show say baby out, because they will be addressed to you at the location or the house where you are staying. It's not only tenancy agreements and immigration run on say your application to show say you need to add tenancy agreement. Tenancy agreement is not mandatory, but it is one of the strong evidence you can rely on to show say ahana ote. And this say where you are staying, maybe say nipa na on it ontimi ma tenancy agreement. What I'm saying is that you can let the person give you letter confirming say or no neti. That alone is sufficient. But nipa na all more letter no manemfa no ID card enka na on signing letter no ma.
Okay. Yeah, but that's it.
All right, me that's.
Yeah, Buampong and Twaso. Then the last one. Buampong, go ahead and ask your question. 18.
Okay, Nana. Good evening. Lawyer, good evening.
Good evening, Joseph.
My question is, Fancy, me bahanom no. Kamino be neighbor, but time me yam application or muhodu dependent investor no. Timenti na ama. And the situation is, me yira nkasa Vanzenka dachi bi ani bi me pesa me ne beba. So now no met me etwa saa ware nim wa ha ana se e wose me mo bi twam wo Ghana edema me because my application me dinidi eto so nipa na kan pesa me ne ba no ye dinidi to so ansa na ye
Buampong
Nana
o question for lawyer na busa na chire me mpese e beje lawyer license friend na busa na ewo chire why
yo mate
me da se pass what ma say aha e kwan ho yemfa the last
generally what I would say is about divorces so ORA or Ghana and sana over UK now ORA or Chroma no na se one ho kafo no mo ye Ghanaians normally no or option here say divorce no ubetimi ayo Chroma no and ubetimi ayo Ghana because UK courts no they have the power and they have jurisdiction to accept or entertain a divorce petition. So far as petitioner no and a respondent a resident in the UK no, the fact say ORA or Ghana and say change na just work or Ghana na kwa divorce. You can do it here. In fact, say ORA or Ghana now ti omaim hana person ye divorce. You will need a lawful attorney to start the divorce petition for you in Ghana. Because all petitioner no, at the time all issue petition no, you must be in Ghana. Because your presence in Ghana no, enebema court no jurisdiction to entertain the petition. This is only how you must have also will give you power of attorney to obi nipa no a file a petition then amount in your name. So when it comes to divorces, that is how it operates. Now you're moving on.
Yeah, okay. Mamifa, the last person, our animal, is it Premi? Please go ahead and ask your question.
Hello, lawyer. Good evening.
Good evening, Mami. Mami, now wait a minute. Udine was Zoom no. Yeah, Bonnie say.
Prime.
Oh, okay. But you go ahead and ask your question.
You me pacho miss me dey say. Me ni me kunu ne ba ha. Na wodi me akwa efie mu mama me 20th April. Enti no mapelo ya oye extension ama na masenya nipa for franka ono ya British a me be ya aware foforo. Na marriage divorce paper no person de be ma me tie no de na metimi aya me sabeka.
Okay. Divorce no moye okroma na moye oga.
Aware ndie ye no Ghana ne de ba me wo ho na efiemfo atro me say we yi me free so nti o mama me 20th April of this month. Emma me friend ni bisa no say ai but o ma me divorce paper no person de be ma me.
Okay. So ukrono say on person the divorce paper memo what you do is and I'm say on na edi kan kobo home office amane say aware na guninti no. What it means is it is on record say our renegu because home office actual crata say who could not be kind our rena egu. It is also on for divorce certificate in our ade say you can go on with your new application or your application no change more application new one now be no say our renegu ebia for so many months or so no the same mum bio said you no our twem no kind no na Ubusan for divorce certificate, he has refused to give you a copy of the divorce certificate. Ucheche mu kama now the home office letter now they send they will say ukunu no abeka jones our enebu na home office ebe consider say indeed our enebu because even when you are married now separating na munja our area some separating for an extended period separation alone no is sufficient because the only need to be was money or for immigration purposes. The way application no change musa now the home office letter no I then account. Now what about ukunu because they say ukunu home office phone no because omo krata omo ka che so ukunu na be ka kire omo. Ukunu no be ka kire omo no divorce no so on fa copy ma but you see our because ebia for abosumi nsia na enan na afini no monti mbom se oba ni ukunu. Empo wo pion. They say what are from.
Okay. Pacho me das.
Yo, abuja for say ahanomo and a brebe my ho kwan yentimi enfa questions biem I will send committee me afa more but emre eko lawyer ofi adwuma ba ya na metwe ni bezia na unse na yire frɛ no sa lawyer kra wa bre entino ya di bezia lawyer ma yen o last west Saudi be giant na afe contact details so be person oba be humu a any baby amo office ewo ni nyina yetio
Yo nana me da se let me say kakra me kan say ba immigration on say sama application forms near the ade ni nyina no so call government website na ni nyina go ho immigration rules no enya ade a ye de asie adaka mu na ya tum safo okwa they are all over there say what's the brofo what's your tre onu atre in makenkan a simple English that you can understand simple onu atre in makenkan ubetuma mo obi akenkan a chirechire omu enti enya ade a eye obronbeka say it's not rocket science or obi intimate ase. It's very easy, especially when it comes to all fill application forms. Name the edin omuni say working can we no say obet tiase how emrani sikano and a challenge no. So the advice I will give to yenyina no say men found to say me meet me o me kind no visa and say do you live with your partner? I said yes. This no that before I say when you was no wabo who to who did 20 bob about the abubana kosi abebo. Indeed, the best thing you have to do, and the advice I'll give to you is though you can read and write, but it is not your area of specialization. In Timestre abbreviano, you will seek legal advice, not from anyone. Men can say madam for so meet me and our agent beat me say meet no. Go and see a qualified immigration advisor or a qualified solicitor who is licensed in immigration matters. Now, wow, so that whatever application you do, no, there will be high chances or there will be a high probability say ebe. That is a footwamdema yenina because I've seen quite a lot of disheartening situations because of say nipani bino and this kind of a futu. Beyond that, you know what I would say is and since I abine person or the bano yenina ebenya ehwa abutre nya kan akoma to yim said it bia no emra no yeyema nipa and aban no menye sure say obeye mra e dia ho kire ebeba nipa so nemum sisan no ode ba no ode ba sere bia ebebo ye nyina ho ban na said it bia no sisan no nya ba we will find a way to comply with the new rules no because kane no na obakrom ha unya asetena within 2 years any they call 5 years they call 10 years but still no nipa gumai mo say nipa do so mo mai mo ano in the said it bia changes ne ba we will all be fine We shouldn't panic about it and say the most important thing is at all material times now. Say the air out here or yeah, or call GP hono. So immigration issue, men come a quine chain, qualified immigration advisor and a solicitor or not or many day or memoir. Say open say or buy a while. Your office Dalston Junction. Your office number 020 8016 5384 020 8016 5384. Ofreya your lawyers will be honmo. I bet me a bow. Name sir ofre now per se one lawyer wisdom ekasa. You can ask of him. O pese o consult me so you can ask of me. Midi Elvis. O friend now cast person Elvis kasa. They will connect you and you can speak to me. I'm hesitant to put my mobile number out because mostly
for office number need to for office number.
The office then I'm there to no. It's fine. When you call and then you want to speak to me, they will direct the call and then we can.
Please repeat the number again for me.
The office near Dalston Junction. It is offer overground near Dalston Junction. Your office near just 2 minutes away from the train station. Post code near E8 3DL. That is Echo 8 number 3 Delta Lima. E8 3DL. Dalston Junction. Office number near 020 8016 5384. Offer now person make us you can ask of me and the front desk will connect your call to my office and we can talk. Tina.
Sorry, lawyer. Please repeat the office number again. 0208.
Office number near 0208 016 5384. 0208 16 5384. Office no between 9:30 in the morning until 6 p.m. Mondays to Fridays. Let's say a bank holiday. Position be a one. Mother a tear for you. That's a and I'll be happy to join you again.
Yo. Well, you better say and then you marry say when you're a bread na only attitude and common. And I said yeah, okay, no. Every permanent you better sign at the Waba BM media Camina crack next week. But any and penny for between common near every permanent you better sign at the Waba near better this conversation. So who be here say you know be updated with the current UK immigration rules. And acquire ye be faswa ye bit me ye be regulate ye said ye be you don't find yourself wanting intine ye da sepa and then you marry na fast dan so emma lawyer wisdom and so my say emrepe no ono so ye no ebehia yo abusiafo ahanomo ena ye de lawyer Elvis Edu Amial, ABC, lawyer Elvis Edu Amial from Wise Smart Solicitors, and then you may honor and any arbitration and como FA UK immigration updates, any all the things that you need to know at home. Nyame Aduma every permono, Yabesign a day or more about meeting any nana kwame or say to Asida and comma a tap send, tap send any kita yimu, Emma Yetimidi Jumedi, Ebro, every Thursday beer, and tis a wash wooty. Na omeka tap send ebusuane ho a mesewa me kamfo tap send e de amount Bomodianko App Store, Play Store. Download the app and you'll be able to use it to send money to your loved ones and family members in Africa, especially Ghana. And in Timisewa, Bomodin will download it for the first time now. We hear promo code OTMG1 with the Eshemupe ebe credit to your app no with £10 or €10 $10 wherever that will be and on your first transfer no, that bonus will be added to it. And the Bomodia not download the Taptap Send today. Taptap Send or say Papa no Sabre me dane me ho na mafa nkrato ba ku menu eno na chi no Taptap Send focus section ene minia bury my class entimi amba but I have Anicha Daniel Taptap Send focus section here e bra e din komo e fa Taptap Send ho e bi our question be contribution be and I say what any issue with your Taptap Send app o de eba ye no e be di ho komo na yama ehun mwa ti Mr. wa tweme me dane me ho aba me ba pe Taptap Send focus section beto asto di ama
me didi yanya ntechwa emre bia am disika be free Europe akoma ebusuafo wo Ghana no me use Taptap Send no fee mobile money transfer easy convenient fast and sounds so free won't you hwe me discover ye mapim Taptap Send entienne also download the Taptap Send app no ewo mobile phone so free na fesika komo ebusuafo wo Ghana afa na nyina Taptap Send papa no
Property Investor Africa connects investors, buyers, sellers, and partners across Africa to creating trusted opportunities in property investment.
Welcome to Property Investor Africa, your gateway to Africa's real estate revolution. Whether you're a developer or seller of prime real estate in Africa, whether you're an investor or buyer hunting for opportunities, or you're a supplier of real estate products or provider of services in the real estate industry in Africa, this is your marketplace.
Recording stopped.